is a process of decisions podcast. This is Trent Thomas, your peer support specialist. This week's episode is entitled With Recovery, Faith is in the Waiting. Anyone can believe when they see it happening. However, faith is in the waiting. Hope is the seed. Faith is the planting season. Faith is the days and nights of rain or no rain. Faith is the planting with no guarantee of harvest. Faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for yet unseen. Faith is belief with no guarantees. Faith is the belief in the assurance that God creates and sustains. God sees you. Nothing escapes the vision of God. He knows your plight, your circumstance, your suffering, your dismay. God knows every cell that makes you you. Every cell in your body follows a set of instructions, performing expertly according to its design. Yet that same cell does not know you or who you are. The cell has no intelligence, yet these same cells communicate with other cells to perform functions that support you. Each cell is mastered by a force that binds them and instructs them on how to be you. This is the power of God. He knows you intimately. He sustains the very cells that make you you. That's estimated at 36 trillion cells in the average adult male. He knows each one intimately. Scientists cannot understand why cells work together to make you who you are. Why do cells follow an unwritten plan formulating you? Why does your heart cells continue to be heart cells? For that matter, why does any cell formulate and carry out its mission to do what it does to make you you? God knows what we know not. He not only created man, he sustains man. Our very existence is dependent upon the power of God. Our God operates in the supernatural. He does not need logic or the natural world to perform his actions. For example, on day one of creation, God said, "Let there be light." Yet the sun was not created until day four. Where did the light come from if the sun was yet to be created? God does not depend on the natural to fulfill his purpose. When he stated, "Let there be light," light came into existence. He did not need the sun for there to be light. God operates in the supernatural. This also demonstrates that time bows to God. Since day one through four, all creations were orchestrated before the very existence of the sun, moon, and stars, indicating God does not depend on our definition of time to formulate his purpose. God has no beginning and no ending. Time is irrelevant to a timeless entity. Our God is a all-powerful supernatural creator, and nothing is beyond his purpose or reach. There is nothing that God cannot bring into existence or make happen. He can make a way when there is no way. When we rely on God to lead our lives, everything is already all right. Faith is absolutely necessary in recovery. Life is a struggle, one struggle after another. It is the faith we have in God that gets us through our most challenging struggles. When we do not have the answer, we give it to God and allow his will to manifest itself. With God, all things are possible and achievable. God wants us to have full trust and love for him, not because we fear him or because he created us, but rather because we decide to trust in him, as he is the only one who can answer all our problems and the only one who can and will save us. God cannot ignore sin. He allows us to suffer the consequences for our sinful decisions. Yet he tapers justice with mercy. With his merciful love for us, he helps us after we fall. He provides a flashlight so we can see our way out of darkness. This is called recovery. We fall down, we get up, we brush ourselves off, and we then walk back into our life. Man was created to recover. Our bodies were designed to recover after being damaged, to heal, to get better. Cells are replaced, cuts, heals, scrapes are covered by protective hardened skin. Damaged cells are replaced. We rehabilitate. We learn to walk again, to run again, to live. We recover. Each day we get a new opportunity to just do better. Faith is required to believe there is a God who can and will save us from ourselves. Faith is in the waiting, in the believing that it can and will get better. In the biblical example of Abraham, we are told Abraham was judged righteous because of his faith, not because he was a righteous man, for we know Abraham made many mistakes, but he had extraordinary faith in God. He followed God's instructions to find a new home. He believed in God when God decreed he would produce a child, even at an advanced age. He had faith to slaughter his only son because God told him to. This was exemplary faith, so much faith that he was judged by God to be a righteous man and given the promise of being father to many and the father of the three prominent religions of today. The story of Abraham exemplifies the reward that God places on faith in him. Faith is life saving and affirms the direction in life we follow. A man of faith does not lie, cheat, or steal. He is measured in his response to contentious situations, slow to anger, a seeker of wisdom and knowledge, does not gossip or backbite, does not seek unfair advantage over others, is a helper of others, seeks justice in all his affairs. Bible describes a man of faith as a upright man, one not loaded down with the sins of the malcontent, one who reaps more rewards and less consequences. A man of faith is grateful for life in each new day to just do better. A man of faith knows though weeping may endure for a night, joy cometh in the morning. A man of faith is a true believer in God and God's power to deliver. Recovery is making the next right decision. Faith makes those decisions with the belief that God got my back, and with God, all things are possible. This is Trent Thomas on Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. You can now subscribe to this podcast and receive a private personal email account to communicate directly with me for comments and show suggestions. In addition, I will be doing podcast shout outs to all those subscribers who request shout outs. As always, your inspiring comments can be left at transnetrecover.com/podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Hashtag TransNetRecover. Thank you.